Hi, everybody. We are live today. This is Lisa Berlin, owner of Great Escapes. I design luxury personalized travel experiences, and today we are talking about Ireland. So this is our Ireland travel chat, and today I am with Bonnie Garrett, who is my representative for CIE. Hi, Bonnie. Thank you for joining. Great. So I'm gonna outline a little bit about what I do at Great Escapes for my travel, for my clients. And then Bonnie is going to talk to us about some unique things, what CIE does. And so basically, hey, welcome again. Join the fun in one of our Ireland groups that we're setting up. Bonnie is going to talk about that. But let me just switch over to our slide presentation here. And so this is a picture of me a couple of years ago in Ireland at the DINGLE Peninsula. And this is just a beautiful place that it's off the beaten tourist track for sure. And some of the things that I like to do when I think about Ireland is incorporate the dynamic cities and the beautiful country and coastline. I'm an Ireland destination specialist, and I specialize with CIE. I love to partner with CIE. They are a long-standing, reputable company, and Bonnie she's always available, quick responses. I never have to worry about that. She has definitely helped me out through the past year with our changes and cancellations and things like that. So thank you so much, Bonnie. I always enjoy working with you, and I'm excited to bring the information about what we're doing moving forward. So we hand select each departure, and I'm just going to kind of move through this slideshow right here, the next one. So again, when we think about going to Ireland, we think about castles and abbeys and beautiful ruins. I think about the rugged, beautiful coastline. The picture on the top left is the wild Atlantic Way, and just such a stunning shot. And then we have dynamic Dublin. So we're going to talk about all of these things and how I incorporate these, and then I work with our CIE tour operator to put these together. So as an outline, the Emerald Isle is waiting for you. Luxury, so we create luxury Ireland and Scotland castle vacations. We're going to talk about today about private driver discoveries. We do guided small group touring, coach touring, which is always a fantastic value. I work with and I set up couples, families, groups. So if you've got that multi-generation group or extended families or friends, this Ireland is just perfect for this type of a group. And we also have like self-drive, if you want to do self-drive, and we can do any combination of between self-drive, maybe a little motor coach, and a private driver. So there's so many ways that we can tailor this just for you. So we always have curated local Irish experiences, and we include the must-see sites. We design your vacation just for you with the must-see sites. Bonnie, let's hear from you, and let's talk about CIE tours, and let's hear the dynamic things what CIE is up to right now.
Thank you, Lisa. And we can actually move to the next slide.
Okay.
So that I can wish all of your guests a very warm welcome. Oops, that went to one slide I wasn't prepared for. But anyways, I wanted to mention that Céad Míle Fáilte, which is 100,000 welcomes in Gaelic, Irish Gaelic. That is a term that people use for affection when they are in Ireland, either locals or with visitors that are coming to visit there. So just a little bit about CIE, who we are, what we do. You can see from the slide that we're showing right now, we've been around for an awfully long time, since 1932, and we are owned by the Irish government. Not a lot of people know that we're a branch of the transportation system, and that's really important because it lends a lot of financial credibility to our company. We have very deep pockets, so you don't have to worry about anything uncomfortable happening with CIE we're going to be around for a lot longer going forward. And boy, I'll tell you, this year was a test of everybody's patience and everybody's understanding about how rough it was for people in the travel industry. Our specialist program, we are specialists in Ireland and in Britain. These are two areas of the world that we have done from the very beginning of time. We've added in some other destinations since then, but this is our core product. We're Irish owned and operated. We know this area of the world better than anybody does. And the nice thing about CIE is when we designed our guided vacations, we designed them so that there are no optional extras. Everything is taken care of for you. We only hire local guides and local drivers, and there's a really big plus to that because these are the people that have a passion for the country that they're going to be taking you to. They know everything, and they love to share that information with you. Got a lot of happy travelers, and I'm especially proud of our satisfaction rate of 95%, and this is based on post-trip surveys that guests like you fill out before you leave to talk about our various services. The gentleman that you see on the left-hand side, he actually is one of our guides in Ireland, and you might be lucky enough to have him when you go traveling with us. So just a little bit of background about CIE, and we can go on to the next slide.
Okay, Bonnie, you know, my past clients have raved about after they've traveled with CIE, and they're just absolutely been thrilled with all the products and services, and the fact that they're not always being asked to pay more money because it's all included.
I think that's really a good value for people, and our competition can't make that claim. If you were to have a different type of tour operators program to one of our destinations for a guided vacation, you have a basic itinerary that you will be following each day. And of course, your hotels and some meals are included, but they do sell optional sightseeing. So you have to pay extra in euros or pounds for sites that we include. And these are must-see sites and must-see events that if you don't do them, you're going to feel like you haven't really seen and done everything while you're on vacation. So with us, you never have to worry. It's one price paid in US dollars before you go, and you don't have to worry about anything else. And it also frees up our tour guides to be guides. They're not salespeople. They're to serve you and to get you excited and to really fall in love with our destinations.
That's right. So we're looking at your legacy destinations.
Yes, this is what we started with in 1932, Ireland, Scotland, England, Wales. And then if we flip over one more slide, I think it'll pop up. A few years ago, we added in by demand Iceland and Italy. Iceland is a perfect fit for us because Iceland is literally right next door to Ireland. It's about a 2-hour, 20-minute flight between Reykjavik and Dublin. There's a huge Celtic connection between Scotland, Ireland, and Iceland because the Vikings traveled that whole route, ended up settling in Iceland. So there's a lot of history there. And Italy, we do Italy because everybody's been asking us to go to Italy, and we are doing that now for our 3rd year, and it's just a phenomenal program. So there's our lineup. You can see our special area really is in Ireland, Scotland, England, Wales, and then of course Iceland and Italy are new destinations for us. And we can go on to the next slide. I wanted to show you some cute pictures. These are actual pictures of tourists who are on a CIE vacation, or some of the events that you'll get to see. And this is authentic. You know, everybody's very friendly in our destinations. They love Americans, especially Ireland and Scotland. They just love Americans. So when you travel with us, you're going to be embraced by locals. Whether you go into the pub that you see down there, it's not unusual in the evenings to go into a local pub, and the patrons come in and they bring their instruments and they just start playing and singing. It's really quite amazing. I mean, it's not planned entertainment. This is just a spur of the moment. The slide up above, you see the gentleman with the sheep. He is actually one of the sheep farm owners in Scotland. If you went with us to Scotland on one of our tours, you might have the opportunity to go visit his farm. And he shows you what it's like to be a sheep farmer, and he shows you how he works with his collies to be able to get those sheep to maneuver around his farm. It's fascinating. Iceland, we would take you to, of course, the Blue Lagoon. That's a picture you see right there to the right-hand side. But we also have a secret lagoon that we'll be taking you to. And of course, you know, the beefeaters in England and gondola rides in Italy, it just is, it's packed with all kinds of really great sightseeing and lots of great events, no matter what destination you pick, no matter what tour you decide to go on. So we'll just go next.
Okay, so you know, when you mentioned that going to a pub, that actually happened to me. I walked into a pub one night to have some dinner, and there were locals there, and it was just delightful. So tell us about the guided vacation portfolio.
The guided vacation portfolio is our biggest selection within CIE. These are the guided tours where you'd be on a motor coach and you'd have your own driver and your own guide with you. We have 18 of them going into 2021 for Ireland. So you've got a lot of choice. You've got, of course, a very nice selection for just Scotland. But then we have the combinations. Scotland and Ireland. We have Britain only or Britain with Ireland, Italy, Iceland products. So altogether, I've got 35 guided vacations next year. You would be hard pressed to be able to not find something that fits the itinerary needs that you have and also your budget, your travel budget. You've got more than any other operator going to these destinations. More and more dates of departure. So
that's right, Bonnie. I was going to just say too that with CIE, you can choose anywhere from 3-star accommodations, 4-star, all up to castles and 5-star manor homes. So there's a wide variety that you can select from within each of these.
Absolutely, yes. Predominantly for our guided vacations, they're 4-star, but we do have some that are 5-star too.
Yes.
Just a gentle reminder that we are an all-inclusive type of product. You will have all of your hotels, your sightseeing is included, 2 meals a day or more are included. Sometimes they're very special meals. Certainly the Southern Gems, the beautiful tour that Lisa has selected, has some fun optionals that are added in for you. And then, of course, your guides are there. They'll be with you from the beginning of the tour to the very end of the tour. And it's packed with everything that you need. Every day will be an exciting day, something new places to explore, but at a pace that's not too breathtaking. You can certainly relax on our tours and enjoy every single moment. And we can go on to the next slide. I always like to touch on our safety precautions because I think that's a big concern for our guests during these really difficult times. I know that the vaccine is on the horizon and it's all going to be better soon, but just know that CIE has taken extreme measures to make sure that your safety is our priority. First of all, we've reduced the size of the passengers on our motor coaches. In 2021, we'll have no more than 26 people on our motor coaches. That allows us to do social distancing. And that's wonderful because they're now smaller sizes. And I think that's going to be a great benefit to people. You know, we sanitize often and we regularly clean the coaches. They're actually cleaned every single night. After you're in your hotel, the guides go out and the drivers go out and they clean those coaches from top to bottom. And remember that we've got fresh airflow coming into coaches, so it's not like being on an airplane. The circulation is fresh. You can open up windows, and we actually stop quite often for stops, you know, to be able to use the restrooms, so you can wash your hands and buy a snack if you'd like to. And we partner, of course, with hotels that have their own set of standards to make sure that their rooms are disinfected thoroughly between stays. So I think that you'll find that we have put a lot of effort into making sure that your safety comes first when you're on one of our tours. And I think we can go to the next slide. I wanted to show you some pretty pictures of what you might be able to see when you are on one of our tours, and also where you might be able to stay if you decide to come with us. You're looking at a slide in Ireland in Adare Manor, which is located on the Wild Atlantic Way. Adare Manor is, as you can see, it's a huge complex. And we use this particular property for people who like to play golf. We use this property for people who are celebrating something special, like an anniversary or maybe a honeymoon. We use this for anybody who wants to have a very, very memorable experience. Adare Manor is not a castle. It's actually, it looks like a castle, but it is not classified as a castle. It is actually a manor. And it's got just beautiful, beautiful rooms and a lot of facilities at the property that you could take advantage of. But if you do something like our private driver program, you do have the ability to stay at Adare Manor. And there are multiple properties like this throughout Ireland and Scotland that we have access to, that you can stay at, that really make your experience very, very special.
Well, this is beautiful, and I've been to Adare Manor, and it's stunning. The rooms are renovated, and you just feel like you're staying. You're the, you know, lord of the castle, even though it's a manor, or lady of the house. But it's absolutely a stunning experience. And then this is up to St. Patrick's Cathedral, another monumental place that you get to see on some tours.
Yes, absolutely, yes. You're going to be seeing so much while you're with us, no matter what the destination is. St. Patrick's Cathedral, of course, in Dublin is a very, it's just an absolutely beautiful, beautiful cathedral, and we will be taking you there on many of our tours. So we'll go on to the next slide.
In Scotland, Bonnie, I know I switched your slides around on you, but anyway.
Yes, yes, and so here's another castle, but see, the architecture is different because it's in a totally different location. It has more of a Norman influence to it. You're going to see so many beautiful castles, some of which are now hotels, some of which are museums now, some of which are just vacant property. So they're just in ruins, but they're everywhere that we go. And of course, don't forget, we go to Wales. And this is the Snowdonia National Park. There's a lot of beautiful outdoor space in all the destinations that we travel to. This happens to be one of them in Wales. So if you're interested in going to England and Wales, we certainly have tours available for you to do that. This is the Glenfiddian Viaduct that you're looking at right now. That actually is a train that was used in the Harry Potter movie. That was the train that Harry took to go to Hogwarts. And we have tours that do have you ride on that train. And of course, when you're with us in Scotland, you will hopefully see some bagpipers, especially if you go during the military tattoo. And then we've got, of course, our sheep and our sheepdog trials that you can experience too in Scotland. Interestingly enough, there are more sheep in Dublin than there, I'm sorry, not in Dublin, there are more sheep in Ireland than there are people. That's true. It's very, very true. And then, of course, we do some tours that go way off the beaten track. In Scotland, we will go to the Isle of Skye. We go to the Greater Hebrides. You don't have to do just the norm type of touring where you just go to the major cities like Glasgow and Edinburgh. We take you way up north so you can see scenery like this. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Yes, this is a highly requested destination, the Isle of Skye.
Urquhart Castle, this is an abandoned castle right on the Loch Ness River, and it is now a museum, but it's a museum that you can walk through at your own pace, and you can see how people used to live then and how they used to protect themselves and their families. That it is, you can't see the back of that, but it drops right down into the water. And then so we do take you to Ur Park Castle when you are with us in Scotland. And then after you've toured the castle grounds, we take you on a ride on Loch Ness to be able to look for Nessie, to see if you can find the Loch Ness monster. It's just a very beautiful afternoon. And then, of course, we've got the military tattoo. If you're not familiar with it, the military tattoo happens every year in August in Edinburgh, Scotland. And this is a time when various bagpipe bands come together, actually from all over the world, and they come to perform in the evening. You can see it there as they are all in pageantry and the fireworks are blowing off in the background. It is just a magical experience. Again, it's a very limited time. We do have seats for the military tattoo for every single performance in August. And our seats are first class seats. You'll be right down in the front area so you can see and experience everything. If you've never done it and you have an interest in it, this sells out very fast. So you would need to select your tour and book it with Lisa well in advance to make sure that you get the actual departure date and the tour itself that you want, because we've got a couple of different Scotland tours that do this military tattoo.
Yes, Bonnie, this is so popular, and pretty much anybody who I talk to Scotland as a destination about, if they don't know about this, most people do, but they ask, I will tell them and we'll arrange this, but this is definitely a must-do summer Scotland event.
And of course, let's not forget England. The Lake District is one of the areas that we'll be touring through. You know, we don't do just the major cities. We make sure we get you out into the countryside so you can see what the entire country looks like. Not just big cities with a lot of congestion, but also some of the beautiful, beautiful scenery like you'll see here in England for the Lake District.
Oh, it's beautiful, Bonnie. And so then there's also the amazing cathedrals.
Canterbury Cathedral, we will take you to all the major sites, and as I mentioned earlier, everything's included. So you'll never pay extra for any of these wonderful experiences that you'll have with CIE. Hampton Court, yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful sites.
Yeah, home of Henry VIII. And famous, or maybe infamous, but just touring the palace and then having some times to go around the gardens. And if there's any tennis buffs that are watching, know that I'm a tennis player. There's an indoor tennis court, and so this was a very popular thing for the court to do. But a visit to Hampton Court Palace is phenomenal when you're visiting London. Now we're on to Iceland.
Iceland, I've been to twice now, and I've been there in February and also in November. And every time I go, I get to see something new and different. It is probably one of the most magical places that you could possibly visit. And I think it's because there's, you know, there aren't any big cities there. Reykjavik is the biggest city, and that's barely big. It's all rural and pristine land that you get to experience. And, you know, it's dotted with waterfalls like this one that you see right here. Everything is natural. There's not a lot of people there. You know, you're going to have a chance to see a destination that hasn't been really overdeveloped with tourism. And you'll get to do some really fun stuff like the Blue Lagoon that you see right here. The Blue Lagoon is absolutely, I think it's magical, because it's a body of water where there's steam rising off from it, and the water is really warm, and you can go in and you can just enjoy a bathing experience. They have wine and beer. You can have a wine or beer while you're in there. It's just really cool, and you can go a day or night. We happen to go at night because it's a grand finale for our Iceland tour week, and you'll be able to bathe in the Blue Lagoon, and then we have a grand dinner at that beautiful restaurant that's attached to it. The Black Sand Beach is another great experience in Iceland. I was there visiting this the last time I got to go to Iceland. And a lot of people have their weddings there, which I didn't.
Oh.
Yeah, it's really bizarre. I mean, they just love it, especially the Japanese people. They will come over and they'll have a wedding ceremony right there on the beach. It's really quite interesting.
Beautiful. Wow. That's
carved rock over thousands and thousands and thousands of years of the sea hitting those rocks and carving them like that.
wow, that's phenomenal. And to have that's interesting, people do a wedding there. So now we're talking about the regions of Ireland.
There are a number of interesting regions in Ireland that you will be able to explore. The tour that Lisa has chosen will concentrate on the south part, but you see that if you look at the Wild Atlantic Way, that is a huge, huge area that has more of a rugged terrain to it. If you look at the part in the north, of course, that is Northern Ireland. And again, the home of Belfast and Derry, wonderful experiences there. And we do have some great tours that concentrate in just the north of Ireland. Ireland's ancient east, this is the area where you would be able to see all the ancient stories and the heritage sites that are there. And it's pretty much, that's where Dublin is, that purple color that you see. And then you can get around actually Ireland from the east to the west in 3 hours. Isn't that shocking? For those of us in the United States, like that's unheard of, but in Ireland, it's a small place. And you can drive it if you don't stop, literally from Dublin to Galway in about 3 hours. We will never do that to you, I promise. We take our time going to the places that we go to. But it is a small country, but it's got a lot to see and do. And it's got a lot of different terrain to it, too, depending upon where you are. As I mentioned earlier, there are sheep in Ireland that are people, and you're going to see them everywhere. Some of our tours will have an opportunity to go to a local sheepdog farm. You'll get to meet the owner of the farm. You'll get to see how he works with his collies to be able to move those sheep up and down and herd them as he needs to get them to be where he needs them to be. The dogs work with their owner from birth, and he trains them by whistles usually. So they respond to different whistle tones, and those whistle tones have different commands to them. You're going to find that fascinating. So be prepared, lots of sheep when you come to visit us in Ireland. Also in Scotland, but boy, definitely in Ireland.
So Bonnie, this is another slide. I put it out of context, but here's where we can talk about traveling your way.
Yes, we have a lot of travel styles. We have, the guided vacations that I talked about. But we also have independent adventures. And these are interesting too. The classic itineraries and the traveler's choice. We offer these opportunities in Ireland. These are self-drive programs. And this might be of interest to you now that everybody prefers to do more social distancing. We work with Hertz Rent-A-Car, and you would have your own car, whatever type of vehicle that you would choose. We will pre-set it with hotels for you, or if you would like to have B&Bs, we can add in B&Bs, we can add in castles, manor stays, farm stays. And then you have the option of driving yourself and creating your own program. That's the traveler's choice. That's one we've had for many, many years. But in 2021, we've got something new, which is the classic itineraries. These are the ones where you'll actually be following a preset tour. You'll still be driving your car, or we can have a driver drive you if you prefer, but you're going to be following along on one of our actual guided vacations. So everything's going to be managed for you. You'll have your hotels all set up. You'll have your sightseeing all set up. All you have to do is drive, and we'll have, of course, the GPS and all the instructions and everything set for you. So you still have the charm of being able to drive yourself around Ireland, but you don't have the stress about having to worry about what to see, what to do, where to go to eat, where to stay. We've taken it all, we've taken care of it for you. And we're going to have 17 different itineraries that you can choose from for this classic itinerary. So I think this just is going to add another layer of touring for you that might be of interest, especially now during these times when social distancing is so important.
You know, I love doing this because a lot of my clients, they want to go out on their own and have this balance of time where they can do their thing and have that self-discovery, but yet not have the concerns and the stress over the various different things. So anyway, let's go to the next slide, but this is a fantastic option right here. And then this one is with luxury coaches. This talks about the style of going with a motor coach tour.
Yes, I mean, our coaches are state of the art. We own all of our coaches, and you will have complimentary Wi-Fi on board so you can stay in touch with family and friends or work if you need to. We will have, of course, your guide that's with you from the very beginning. We also have our drivers that you'll see a picture of our driver on the left-hand side. And then when we're in major cities like London or Edinburgh, Dublin, Reykjavik, we have local guides. The local guides will come to the hotel and they take you on a walking tour, usually in the morning, and they highlight their city and all the wonderful things that you need to know about where they live and where they work. So you've got two layers here. You've got your regular guide, and then you have specialists for the major cities that have much more in-depth information about that particular city that you're visiting that day. The picture that you're looking at to the left there, that was Skellig Michael.
I'm going back.
Can you? Oh, good. Thank you for going back. That's Skellig Michael. And you'll be able to see that on some of our tours. It's along the Wild Atlantic Way. Skellig Michael was an area that was inhabited by very pious monks hundreds of years ago. They would ferry out to that island, and they built themselves little stone structures, and they stayed out there for a period of 6 months. They had to bring all their food and water with them because there's no food or water on those islands. It's very remote. They carved those steps that you see that go up to the top, and they would go pray there every single day. They felt that if they were away from mainstream population and as high up as they could get, they could be closer to God. So Skellig Michael was really off the radar until a few years ago when Star Wars started filming there. So now everybody knows about Skellig Michael, and we make sure that we show it to you when we're touring on the Wild Atlantic Way.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place, and it's actually part of the group tour that we have coming up that we're going to be talking about. Here's the next slide here. This talks about custom private driver, which is from 1 to 10 people. Bonnie, tell us about the fantastic benefits for my clients when we set up a custom private driver.
The private driver program is a really versatile program. It's wonderful if you want to go traveling with friends that perhaps play golf. You're a group of golfers, or a group of tennis players. It does, I mean, any sport whatsoever, you're going to have your own vehicle. All of your kindred spirits are together, and you can go off, and we can set up tea times for you if you're golfers. You know, we'll set up the whole thing for you. It's literally custom designed. It's wonderful if you have small children, or if you want to travel with your grandchildren that are smaller, and being on a guided vacation just isn't appropriate. It's wonderful for couples that want to celebrate a special occasion. It's great for people who want to do nothing but high-end stays, staying in castles and manors. So it can be a really deluxe product, or it can be something that's very, very manageable for people that want to travel in a small group and do a specialized activity. The bottom line, though, is you're going to have a great vehicle with your own private driver. We customize the program exactly the way that you want it to be. We include in everything you want to have included. Whatever hotels you want, whatever category hotels you want, we will put in for you. Your guide picks you up at the airport, and the guide stays with you for the entire trip. And we do the private driver program in England, Scotland, Wales, Ireland, and now in 2021 we'll be doing it in Iceland. And I think Iceland is going to be a really popular destination for this because there's a lot of driving in Iceland, and there's a lot of sites that you would miss if you were driving by yourself. You would have no idea what they are, where they are, because they're not well, the signage isn't that fabulous. So, but if you've got your private guide with you, private guide, private driver, you would be able to experience all that. So again, we offer this in all of our destinations except for Italy. And it's a great way to travel if you want to have a really immersive type of experience for a particular type of experience that you want to have.
You know, Bonnie, having a private driver is just the most carefree because you've talked about a couple of really important things. One of them is the flexibility to, you know, have maybe spend more or less time. Your guide is a licensed driver and a licensed guide. They are historians and so knowledgeable about their place. They can point out places that if you were doing a self-drive, you might drive right by it and miss out the most amazing discovery. So they're definitely there to enhance every moment of your trip and go at the pace and the cadence that is right for you. Private driving is always probably, I mean, hands down, my favorite days traveling are with private drivers because of the leisure, the pace, the discovery, things I would have not known about. And my clients absolutely love going with private drivers for this flexibility. It's carefree, especially in the UK and Ireland where you're driving on the other side of the road. You don't have to have any mishaps or close calls or things like that. So private driver is a phenomenal way to go. So I love that CIE does such a beautiful job with this.
Thank you.
Oh, here's more on private driving. So yeah, it just talks about going off the beaten path. You know, if you have history, family history, and you want to do some family history searching, this would be key. Like Bonnie mentioned, you can go at your own pace, and with golfing or golfing groups, you can do that too. So it's just, and it's perfect for the solo traveler. Again, 1 to 10 people for a private group, and it's great for multi-generation. Maybe you need a couple of drivers, and we get a couple of, you know, maybe we have 20 people, so we get 2 that go together on the same tour.
So by now you know that we have a lot of different ways to travel. You know, we've got the classic itineraries that I mentioned and the traveler's choice, independent driving. If you are very adventurous and you just want to be able to create your own vacation in Ireland with a self-drive vacation, you can certainly do that. Or if you want to have something really, really customized for yourself, we can do that with a private driver. We have the guided vacations that are all small sizes now, so we've got a lot of different options for you. Perfect. Now this is the fun part for me. This is where I get to talk about Lisa's group that she's got set up for all of you who would like to go with her for next year. Lisa, what month are you traveling in again?
This is going to be September 12th of 2021. I am so excited. Like I say, I hand selected this itinerary. It is beautiful plan for people who have a week and they want to have a fantastic introduction to Ireland, to the top sites and cities and also the country roads. But yes, we're going, this is set up for September 12th of 2021.
And September is a perfect month to go in Ireland. Honestly, it is. I've been there. I invariably always have to go off season because we're so busy during the summer months. But September is like the new June. I mean, it is when everybody wants to go because the weather is still gorgeous. A lot of tourists are gone, so you have Ireland all to yourself. This tour starts in Dublin, and it goes south. So you're going to be concentrating in the southern part of Ireland for the 7 days that you are with us. So when you arrive into Dublin on the very first day, you will be able to take a nice tour of the city in the afternoon, check into the hotel, freshen up, and then that evening you will have a welcome drink with your guide, and then the rest of the evening you can just relax and have room service or go out if you'd like to, but it's an easy way to start your first day. Just a simple, nice tour for an orientation around Dublin, and then you can just relax, have a drink and meet your guide and go to bed if you need to, or if you can, if you're jet lagged and want to stay up, you can do that too and go out for a meal at a restaurant. The next day is in Dublin, and we do the hop-on, hop-off bus. So you can go and explore Dublin on your own. The hop-on, hop-off is a really great way to see the sites that you want to see. You can stay a long time at certain sites, skip other sites. So you've got that one-day pass for the hop-on, hop-off, and it also includes a visit to the Guinness Storehouse, if you would like to go there, or to the Teeling Distillery if you would like to see how whiskeys are made. It would go to the Epic Ireland, which is the museum that was put together to talk about the immigration for Irish people, or the GPO Museum. 4 different optionals that you can pick one of for that visit. So you've got some choice there. The GPO, by the way, is the General Post Office, and that is now a museum. That actually is where a lot of the fighting took place when the Irish were trying to break away from the British. It was really fascinating. So one of those 4 is included on top of the hop-on, hop-off. And then that night we take you out on the town. We're going to go out to Taylor's 3 Rock pub, and you're going to have an authentic Irish meal and authentic Irish music and dancing. So pace yourself that day. That's a busy day. That's day 2. Then we keep going south. Now you'll see we'll go just make a stop in Blarney, where you get to visit Blarney Castle, and on to Kinsale, which is considered one of the most beautiful towns in Ireland, and I totally agree. It's got a really nice history to it. There's a lot of art there, a lot of art galleries, and you're going to be able to tour it with a local guide. Remember I showed you a picture of the local guides? Well, there is a person that we hire that lives in Kinsale that takes you on a lovely walking tour of that historic town, and you'll get to learn all about it. It has a really interesting blend of a Spanish history to it too, which the guide will talk to you about. We continue on day 4 to Killarney and Dingle. You're way south now, and we will, of course, take you for a full day touring in Killarney and Dingle, and you're going to enjoy beautiful sightseeing there. And oh yeah, that's right, I almost forgot. That day, day 4, while you're doing the Dingle Peninsula, you're going to get to stop at Moriarty's. Moriarty's is a store that has the most beautiful handmade Irish products, beautiful woolens, just great. I go insane when I go there to buy things because you're never going to find them at any other store. These are handmade from craftsmen all around Ireland, and they bring them to Moriarty's and they're sold there. So, sweaters and capes and blankets, little throw blankets. Just
Bonnie, I had to buy a suitcase there because I brought home blankets and souvenirs and beautiful handcrafted woolens and mohairs from there. And so, yeah, you are absolutely right. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. And the scenery here is just rugged and dramatic. And it's definitely talking about getting on the country roads here. It is out of the tourist path. It's beautiful.
It is. It's absolutely gorgeous. And the next day we spend some time there too, as we start to crawl our way up a little bit further north. And you will, as we do that, you're going to have a stop at Murphy's Ice Cream Store, which I feel like I discovered because there's a couple of Murphy's around. There's one in Killarney, which is a personal favorite of mine, but it's all handmade ice creams. And if you've never been to Ireland, you don't know what butter is until you've gone to Ireland. You don't know what cream is until you've gone to Ireland. Salmon. I mean, it's the food in Ireland is just getting better and better and better every single year. So Murphy's has these great ice, and my favorite is these sea salt caramel. But they also have a whiskey ice cream. They have all orange marmalade, brown bread ice cream, all different kinds of ice creams to try. So you're going to get to go to Murphy's and enjoy that. And then, of course, we take you to the Cliffs of Moher on day 6. That is a classic highlight. We do the Cliffs of Moher on almost every single one of our guided vacations because it is such a beautiful area to go and visit. These are the cliffs that drop down about 700 feet to the ocean. And then you will finish up that night with a medieval banquet dinner. So we pack this full of all kinds of really great stuff. There's Blarney Castle. This is your one-time opportunity to kiss the Blarney Stone and get the gift of gab that the Irish people have. The grounds Blarney Castle are just phenomenal. So you'll get to tour those two. And there's a beautiful shot of the Cliffs of Moher. You can see that dramatic 700-foot drop down to the ocean. And there is an abandoned castle there that you can tour during your time. Beautiful museum that talks about the history of that area. Now you're on the Wild Atlantic Way, so it's the weather can be windy. So just a reminder, even though you are going in September, which is a beautiful month to go, bring yourself a nice warm jacket just in case you need it.
Yeah.
And I think we have a couple of other pictures to show you. Yes, one of the other stops that we make along the way is the Foynes Flying Boat and Maritime Museum. I'm sure you've never heard of it. It would shock me if you did. It is truly one of my favorite places to go. Foynes is not just famous for making the first Irish coffee, but it's also where there's a huge aviation history component that now has been chronicled there. They have it's getting to be a bigger museum, but it is still a small museum where they've replicated one of the flying boats, those B-314s. You can actually go inside and see how people used to fly years and years ago. The museum was actually sponsored in part by Maureen O'Hara, who is a famous, excuse me, I'm sorry, she's passed away now. She was a famous Irish actress who played in The Quiet Man, if you all remember that. She married a Pan Am pilot and just became really enamored with this little museum and took it under her wing. And now it's getting bigger and bigger thanks to her patronage. And it's a fascinating place to go. When you go, you'll get to tour around. Of course, we show you how the Irish coffees are made the right way, and you'll get to sample an Irish coffee while you're there. I think you're going to like Foynes. It's personally one of my favorite and fun places to go. But of course, we're going to top it all off with a medieval banquet dinner. This is beyond fun. This is where we will gather in an actual castle. This is not in a hotel banquet room. This is in a castle. You're going to be greeted by people in medieval costume. You get a chance to try mead, and you'll sit down at these big tables where there are no proper knives and forks. You spear your food with a knife. You drink mead all evening long. They have entertainment. They have fabulous food that you'll get to eat while you're there. And it's just a fun experience. You're going to love it. And that tops off your 7 days. You're busy every single day. You're going to see and do an awful lot. But I think the pace is very, very manageable for you. Dingle Peninsula, this is just some of the gorgeous scenery that you get to see as you're driving through the Wild Atlantic Way with us.
This just kind of is a recap, and this just is about our exclusive savings that we worked with Bonnie and CIE to set up. And so by signing up before December 30th, you can save $190 per couple. and basically people. And then there's easy and low deposits to secure your place, with the final payment not even being until June 1st of next year. And then it's a guided tour, so it's a coach style guided tour, and there's an option in Dublin to arrive a night before we begin, which I always encourage, to get adjusted to your time zone and also maybe do some extra things that you would like to do and not miss while you're in Dublin. And so this is something that we have now, and you can contact myself here at Great Escapes. There's my information. If you want to scan that QR code with your phone, you will take it and you can subscribe to my newsletter, which I send out every 2 to 4 weeks and show this. So there's a picture of me with a lineage Irish sheep, Irish wolfhound dog, and his name is Noah. And this is in the town of Adar, Ireland. And I just popped into this little place to grab some water and chocolate. And lo and behold, this lovely, gentle giant was out there waiting for me to come and give him a hug and take a picture. But anyway, so this was a little bit about that day, but just very, very fun. And Ireland is so charming with the countrymen and the storytelling and the local guides that will enhance your vacation and your Irish discovery. So Bonnie, do we have anything else right now we want to make sure and add into this?
I think we've covered a lot of ground in a very short period of time. Just remember that Lisa's got this beautiful program. The Southern Gems is one of our most requested tours, and it is beautifully designed. So if this is your first foray into Ireland, you would be amiss not to go with her in September on this tour. And remember, everything's included. The price is the price. There's not much else for you to have to pay for except a couple of pints of Guinness, which you'll of course want to enjoy, and you will get to meet some of the most welcoming people that you have ever met in any country you've ever been to. So I hope you come and see us, and I certainly appreciate, Lisa, you having me talk today.
Thank you.
You are. That's the biggest dog I have seen in a long time. It's a great shot. So yes.
Bonnie, thank you so much for co-hosting with me today. Have everybody, thank you for joining and tuning in to my Ireland travel chat. And I'm actually going to be back on live on Wednesday with another destination, but we definitely are excited about Ireland and moving forward, and we only vacations to look forward to. Is Ireland calling you? Let us know if this is on the top of your list. And let's talk about your Ireland vacation. And there's tremendous pent-up demand going forward for travel for 2021. We're seeing a lot of people really anxious to go and booking their vacations. So thanks again, Bonnie. Thank you for joining and co-hosting with me today.
It's my pleasure. Thank you. And happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Bye-bye now.
Bye.